Jonas, are you hating on when a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, decides to play in the last preseason game? Are you hating on that decision?
I'm glad you brought that up because, no, I'm not hating on that decision. I'm a little surprised by the decision. At this point, what's the point? Why don't you just get to the regular season and then roll this thing out there to open up the year against the Bills on Monday night? But that is the plan, according to a source, that Rodgers is going to play in the Jets' final preseason game coming up next weekend against the Giants. And so if you're wondering when is this whole thing going to start for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in an actual game, it's coming up this weekend here for the Jets.
Can I present why it concerns me?
Uh-oh.
Well, didn't he get tweaked in practice? He tweaked his ankle or calf. I forget which one it was.
He's done his calf a couple of times.
That was in the spring.
He's got big calves, though, so he's always susceptible to a calf injury. That's one of the blessings of not having very big calves is getting injured something you don't have.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So, and Jonas, you and I are in the small calf committee. We've talked about this at length.
Bro, my calves are smaller than both.
You got small calves, too?
Bro, have you never seen my calves? That's why you've never seen them.
Some people have probably said, yeah. You never seen
everybody. I get a leg day joke every day. I'm like, dude, my legs don't grow.
Yeah, but what do you do? Calf raises? Like you're in there squatting.
I do squats. I do toe raises. I do all of it. They don't grow.
Yeah,
they're toned. They just don't grow.
But I guess my point is,
what's the point? Come on.
He's already heard it in practice. Why would you then play in a preseason game that's that close to week one, like a meaningful game? You would think that the second preseason game will be the one that you'd want to target. In the event you did tweak something, you have a little bit more time to get ready. Now, you might say, hey, I want to knock the rust off. I'd like to do it closer when I have to be out there the following week, and so that's why I'd rather do it then. Okay, I feel like that leaves you a little bit subject to risk if you maybe could have used an extra week of time to come back from some sort of injury, right?
I think it's a hard one. That's a hard one to measure and to gauge. If everything goes the way it's supposed to go, you get him in, he gets a couple reps, he gets out, he gives the crowd some good feelings, everything all is good. If he does get injured, then it's like, why the hell did you do it?
What's he going to do?
It's just a hard one.
What is he's going to hand the ball up a couple of times?
Well, you can't really win, right? Like, let's say he has a great preseason performance. Is anyone really that excited considering, we need this in the regular season, though? It's always going to be tempered.
Yeah,
but
if you go out there, they're going to be excited because they got to see him, though. You know how that goes. I mean,
that's true.
It just, that's how I look at it. Like, especially for that market, like to go through the entire preseason and not give them just give them just a taste. A little taste, of what you're going to get. Not the whole thing, just a little bit, and then that wets your whistle, and then you're good. Yeah, I would assume
it's still going to be a couple of weeks before you play Week 1 against the Bills on Monday night. Like, what is whatever he does this game? How is that going to translate over to anything that happens 2 weeks from then on Monday night against the Bills?
I don't know.
You're not gonna replicate anything. Like, to me, it feels like, why run the risk? Roll them out there week 1. You're going to work through some kinks and deal with some growing pains, and it's going to happen in real time during the season. I just don't understand why, what this does for getting ready for a regular
is it a possibility he just wants to play? Could it be that simple?
He hasn't done this since 2018, at least according to a report, which I didn't go back to verify or check.
He took a pay cut, so he's doing things that he wouldn't normally do.
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible he could just, hey, coach, I want to play.
Brady, you brought this up, I want to say last week or the week before, that one of the things with Rodgers and the Packers over the past several years have been slow starts.
Yeah.
Do you think that is maybe in the back of his mind? Like, those slow starts are because I didn't play at all in the preseason, and so maybe this would help kind of exercise those demons a little bit, and I can go out there and feel more comfortable to start off the year, especially week 1 against the Bills on primetime.
Sure. I mean, I think all of it could play a role. Even just looking across the field, around the field, and being like, holy hell, I'm wearing this green uniform now. And it's a different green than what I was wearing in Green Bay. Like all those things make a difference. They matter. And it sounds small, and it sounds like, for us on the outside, we're like, well, how much can it make that big of a difference? For him, it could be a huge difference in providing him confidence and comfort so he can play the way he's capable of, right out the gate. So the slow starts could be something that he's looking for a solution to. Look, I'm not sure it's going to make that big of a difference, right? Let's say he plays a series, 2 series, and to your point, mostly hands the football off or throws a few passes. I don't know how big of a difference it's going to make. He's played so much football in his career.
Yeah, it's not going to make any difference.
Right.
A few plays is not going to make any difference. And I would venture to say I don't think it exercises the demons of starting off slow either. I just think that's one of those things. If they start off slow, that'll continue to be a mark of his career. The teams he's on start slow. I mean,
yeah.
But I don't. There can't be too much of a cursor connected to him playing a few downs in the last preseason game. I don't think that puts anything to rest for him or anything like that. I would just say, honestly speaking, I mean, why do you spar, right? Like when you go into sparring matches, that's like a real fight. You're trying to simulate a real fight. And so, yeah, right? So by the time you get to the main fight, like that's supposed to be easier. So to me, if he's going in there to spar, I would say maybe he's going in there to see what it feels like to be the starter for the New York Jets, and that would totally be it. Like, give your teammates the opportunity to see you out there as the starter. Give yourself the opportunity to feel it as the starter in a game where the fans are there. Yeah. Y'all are some jag-a-loons.
What's up? We're speed bagging him, man.
He's 1, 2, 3.
You're speed bagging.
Y'all tripped out, man. What's wrong with y'all, man?
Yeah. I was just trying to imagine what Jonas sounds like when he's hitting heavy bag.
How does he sound?
Sounds like, he'd be like,
Is that how he sound, Jonas? That's how Jonas sounds. Jonas got soft hands, man. He don't have them hard punching hands.
Boy.
Little soft boy hands.
And by the way, it's not soft.
Oh, geez.
And I know we brought this up last week, but I can't, upon taking a closer look at it, the Jets' opening schedule. So you get the Bills, then you're at the Cowboys, then you get the Pats at home, then you got the Chiefs at Denver, and then Philly.
Yeah, that's not easy.
I mean, there's a chance that I don't think this will be the case, but it would not be outside the realm of possibility to think that maybe they were 1-4 going into their bye week.
I don't know, man. I think they match up well with teams.
I agree.
That D-line is a beast.
Or 2-4, rather.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, 2-4 heading into the bye week.
It's possible with that schedule, but still,
no.
How much are now? If you get off to a slow start and you have those type of teams that early on in your schedule, how much does that play a part in that being a slow start that Aaron Rodgers is having? I mean, it's not who's going to blink at you losing to Kansas City. You know, who's going to blink at you losing to Philadelphia?
The Buffalo game to open up the year is going to be fascinating.
I'm just not sold
by the way,
on
I
Buffalo.
wonder,
I'm not either, but
I wonder how much of his decision to play 2 has to do with the schedule early on. Like how important these games are, a divisional game out the gate, and how good some of the opponents are. Again, it's the NFL, so you don't really ever take any week off. You could sit there and say you're playing lesser opponents. That's how you get beat. Because the margins of difference aren't as big as what we perceive them to be on the outsides. That's why, teams end up being closer than we think all the time as far as sports betting goes. But I do wonder if he kind of looks at not so much even like the slow start history, but the fact that he's not – it's like when he was in Green Bay, he probably felt at certain points like he could call it a career whenever he wanted to. And so when you are the one that ultimately makes the decision, and there's this kind of like finite line, or there isn't this finite line where it's going to end, it probably feels different in regards to sense of urgency. He knows he's there for 2 years, maybe 3, and that's it. So he's got to do things a little bit different, maybe how he did earlier in his career to hopefully get the results that he's looking for and to get a Super Bowl. And with the schedule they have, I'm wondering, too, if that doesn't play a small portion of the thought process behind it.